All right, NYSC fiasco, the backlash over registration chaos. NYSC has been trending for, I don't know, maybe 24 hours, maybe some
Mm.
hours, 12 hours or so. There's a report here on thisdaylive.com. It says, as the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, enables a portal for 2024 Batch C Stream 2 online registration, many prospective COP members are expressing dissatisfaction over the inability to access the site. The registration, which closes on January 10, is a prerequisite for mobilization for the mandatory camp participation as well as primary assignment. Meanwhile, some aggrieved persons have taken on social media to register their concerns after making several attempts to register without fruition. A Twitter Andu reviewed his personal experience while trying to express the portal, and I quote, "Today is NYSC registration and your portals are showing unavailable. You had over 3 months to prepare for this, yet you're still unprepared. Nothing surprises me in this country anymore."
Mm.
While the NYSC insists that the portal is active, many are still unable to access Wahala. Still unable to access it using the provided link and the directions. Another tweet with the handle Nemikas noted NYSC registration site is not working, which means that after last time they didn't bother improving the site to be able to take up the expected traffic for this year. They left it. Sorry about that. They left it. Let me see. They left it, and the prospective corps members are suffering around the country, wasting valuable economic hours. This site is inaccessible as at the time of filing this report. So I guess NYC is like, what would you call the equivalent of NYC in the United States? Like people being drafted for service, or being
Maybe
registered for
the
drafting?
no, it's not equivalent to being drafted. I mean, if there's going to be a war situation and somebody, is drafted, that precisely completely military. But in this case, this one is quasi-military. But when you go through the process, the camping situation is a orientation camp. So it's just like what is captured in the essence of the NYC anthem. Youth obey the clarion call. Let us lift our nation high. Whether under the sun or in the rain, Nigeria will this and that. What I don't. It's been a while since
Mm,
I went through the experience, and it's not anyway national anthem. That what we send here,
yeah.
in essence, everything that is wrong with the current registration process has been captured so succinctly in the two uh, items that you paraphrase, that you quoted, that you read out
Mm-hmm.
there. Frustration, the time that was supposed to have been used to uh, straighten things out.
Mm-hmm.
Whether as a member of the National Youth Service Corps, then NYSC,
Mm-hmm.
or while reporting from the bit of women and youth affairs as a journalist, I have made my contributions in ways that historians would consider imperishable.
Mm,
So honestly, I believe that those who are minding the estate now, the what's it called, the service corps now, should
mm,
be able to listen to what our youth want and make this work properly. And as to the sensitive mention of the draft that you mentioned, people even thought that NYSC members could be, or core members could be uh, exposed to handling of arms, being trained, and
mm-hmm.
be put in the pool of reservation for Nigerian armed forces in case of, what we have today, instead of having a standby youth army in Nigeria that would signal to the entire world that Nigeria uh, continues to be relevant in terms of what's it called? Being a strong powerhouse on the West African sub-region and indeed on the African continent. What we have is a army of unemployed youth, hungry persons, and what have you all over the place. In the past, NYSC would cultivate farms that were run effectively by core members, particularly those who read sciences relating to agriculture. But today, that's no longer the situation. And Nigeria continues to say, oh, there is hunger. And really, there is hunger in the land. So maybe when they are thinking of Agbado Ewa and all kinds of stuff that would feed Nigerians sustainably, they should look in the direction of NYC. But before we cross that, we get to that river so that we can have some bridge with which to cross.
Right.
I think we need to fix the broken issues of the day concerning NYSC. And that done, everybody will be at ease too, because you don't really want to toy with the anger of youth. You don't want to deal with this frustration, especially when they are educated and motivated.
Right.
Nigerians have seen it in the past over and over. End SARS, end bad governance. Nobody can predict what is next to end. So they should fix that border, and if they cannot do it by way of IT, I know there are kidnappings and banditry all over Nigeria, but then there should be some way of allowing our youth. Now, with my age, I can refer to them as our children. There should be some easy way for them to access registration so that they can do the needful. As to the continued relevance of NYSC, that is a debate we should have.
So the service I was trying to think of here is called the Selective Service System. It's a requirement for, I think, all male citizens between 18 and 25. We were all required to register for selective service if we were collecting any form of financial aid for education while we were in school. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about. It's completely...
but it's only in the rule, not in the. I mean, it's not even strictly enforced in the United States.
No, it's not. It's only if you are taking financial aid while we were in school. Yeah, and it's different. So speaking of, NYSC is required by anybody under 30 who finished school, right?
Yes, and if you are older than 30, you are exempted, and you are issued a certificate showing that you are older than 30, and so you can be part of it.
But let me ask you this question: Do you watch Honest Bunch podcast with the Needle and them? Have you stumbled into that? Okay,
no,
I'll see if I can send you.
Yeah.
So there's a guy, you would know him, Kenny Keke Ogungbe.
Right? I know Kenny Ogungbe. Yeah.
Aha. So he was on there as a guest last week.
You can call him the revolutionary when it comes to Nigerian music and television industry.
Exactly. Yes. Music industry. Yes. So
Dark Communications, AIT, all of them. He was there. Kenny Music.
Yeah. Exactly. So he was talking about. So I guess he was a prodigy of Dr. Dokwesi, who was the owner of
yes, and probably his in-law too. I think
it was an in-law. Yes, it was a brother-in-law. Is it brother-in-law? Yeah, brother-in-law.
Yes.
The sister was married to Dr. Dokwesi. Yeah. So he was telling a story, and they asked him, and come to find out, Dr. Dokwesi passed on last year, I think, 2023. And come to find out that just before he passed on, he had asked Kenny Ogungbe to go and serve in the NYSC, and he registered to serve, and he was in the middle of that program when he passed on. So Kenny Ogungbe should be somewhere around 60-ish now, if I'm not. So now, you said if you're above 30, you're exempted, right?
Yeah.
So, but I've also had friends who would go back to Nigeria and, before they can work for government, they would ask them, he's 64 years old.
Government, politics and all that.
Right. So they will have to serve for 1 year. You
Mm-hmm.
know. We also know that in Nigeria, if you have essay, how do you call it? Influence, right? You can
Long
be
leg.
posted. You can be posted anywhere because many people don't want to be posted into the Sambisa forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now, with all of that going on with the NYSC, I'm not really too surprised that the website is not working. I think that's the least of the
Well,
issues.
you're talking of all kinds of structural issues right there, and there
Yeah.
are things that are human and that can be fixed. If
Hmm.
the IT stuff is being, is properly tackled, you can be sure that human error and influences in some of these things will be reduced to the barest minimum. I do not know how Oga Ogungbe
Hmm.
in his 60s would find his way into
64,
NYC
63.
64. You find a 64 years old man around the youth that are between 18 and 30. Are you not going to be looking around to see something is wrong
What's
and
going on?
if everything is okay? In
Right, right,
America,
right.
people would even think that the man is creepy, but we don't
Right.
know. He probably was just doing that. He was probably doing that to prove some points
So they
that
asked him why did he do it, and he said Dr. Dokwasi asked him to go and do it.
so it is a matter of command and obey. We do not know the full story right there,
Hmm.
but yeah, probably it's nothing some political ambition, and it feels like
There
somebody
you go.
may be asking him for the certificate at some point.
Yeah, they mentioned
All
that.
said and done,
Hmm.
if the private sector in Nigeria is thriving, why
Hmm.
would anybody even be thinking of NYC? I have the NYC certificate. I even brought it with me to the United States of America here. If I look in my cabinet here, I will show you the paper.
Mm.
But you see, it's fun to have gone through the experience. While we were there in Delta State, we did unusual things. I mean, I cannot forget the experience of dragging the Director General of NYC then, SM Dule, into the live studio that we call Orientation Broadcasting Service, OBC. From there, we also started a copper courier. It was unprecedented in the history of NYC in Delta State. And we got grants from the State Directorate to run the publication. You know, we were cutting our path. And there were times we hosted the governor of a Delta State. And I
Mm.
asked the people there, me, I won't be part of that crowd. I will be looking for a job in Nigeria. And really, I never even spent a day without being employed after NYC in Nigeria.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and on like that. You are part of some of my story, and you know
Mm.
what we're talking about. My good friend in Abuja, Jide Ojo, that you see is a media personality, and he's a political scientist. He took the baton from me as the pioneer editor-in-chief of Copper Courier in Delta State. I hope the publication is still on. It's not about going through that experience alone. Do we always allow the experience to go through us as well?
Mm.
You see the point I'm making?
Let me ask you,
Well,
do you think I missed out?
not exactly. You were born in the United States, Ola, with all the
No, I'm
opportunities.
talking about because I
Ola,
went to school in Nigeria now.
let me
So
tell
did
you,
I miss out in
you did
anything?
not miss out anything. If you go to Nigeria, if they like you, let them employ you as a citizen. If they don't, let them employ you as an expatriate. But let me tell you the good news.
Yes.
What if even if you end up being a cleaner in America and you are earning an average salary, what's it called, an hourly wage of $14,
$14 an hour.
15, 14, 15, $18
Mhm.
an hour, $25. Put it together in a month. You may be clocking close to maybe between 3 million to 4-5 million in a month. Can you
Okay.
compare with the ESOP they pay workers in Nigeria, and they are saying they have done them a favor of $40 a month minimum wage? So
No,
who really?
overall, no. But the standard of living here is it's not exactly as fun as you just sounded.
But in some places in Nigeria as well,
Uh-huh.
if people are not corrupt, so
Uh-huh.
you have this. It's like the old man and the medal. You are dancing with this NYC certificate. What is the quality of life that it affords you really? if you are a permanent secretary in Nigeria minister, if you go by your salary, even as president, you think
Right.
you earn much? You don't even earn as a janitorial person in America. But because they have to steal from the cookie jar, everybody thinks, oh, life in Nigeria is okay. But let us continue to celebrate it like that, because for the little I've said now, all of them will be coming after me like a blood
All right.
hungry shark. Yes, they will be okay
They go there, all
eventually.
right.
They go there all right too. Then go there all right. Well, you know. So this is
So,
the situation,
yeah.
Ola.
Yes, sir.
I don't think you have missed out. And what is it that
Sometimes I feel like I missed out by not going to university in Nigeria or by
that is
serving
just
in
that,
the.
like you often say, Ola, that is just
Mhm.
by way of sentimental feeling. It's it's your brain that
Not
is.
feeling, not feeling. No, there's no doubt about that. Not just feeling so.
Yes, I had fun. I mean, the woman I married in my um, uh, first and marriage, I met during my NYSC year. But the truth
Mm-hmm.
of the matter is that unless you are able to create that fund for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you may, yes, you may, you may not. And really, I mean, I had gone through so much before I even went for NYSC. I was involved in the politics of Akure local
Right,
government. I
right.
mean, you remember and all those things. Even
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
I
went
remember.
to serve, when I went to serve, they sent me to one school,
Where did you
Goshen
serve?
College.
Where?
I served in Asaba, Delta,
Asaba
Oshimili
Delta.
South local government. Let me give you this funny thing. So
Mm-hmm.
they sent me to Goshen College, and I see they would think I'm slandering the owner now, but I saw the way they were treating
Was
club
it a
members.
private school?
Private school. I saw the way they were treating club members, even lawyers in the husband's chamber. And I had my reservation, and you know me anyway. No, and then they felt like this. I just looked for redeployment, and I went to serve as a press secretary to the chairman of Oshimili South local government,
Mm.
Mr. Uboma, who came from Okogbele. Okogbele. You know, I know all the corners and crannies of Delta State like the back of my hand.
Mm.
You know, when I listen to people pronounce Ubuchuku and what Iseluku and all those Ibuzo,
Mm-hmm.
Ogwashuku, Umunede, Agbo, wherever, Opanam, the hometown of the first Nigerian military revolutionary, uh,
Mm.
um, what's his name? Kaduna Nzegu, where he was buried. And I'm like, God, I'm blessed. It's
Mm.
also a good thing to have been born in Nigeria, but it would also have been better for us to be able to impact the place and own it. Not
Mm.
it. Then it wasn't like this. You could go anywhere in Nigeria and sleep.
Mm.
Jalingo, Yola, all over Nigeria, whether as a youth or as a journalist, I felt at home everywhere.
You felt
Abakaliki,
safe. You felt
wherever.
safe. Mm.
Today it's no longer like that in Nigeria. You go to
Mm.
some communities, you want to have to change hotel accommodation 3 times before
Mm.
they
Just to
because you
make
don't
sure.
feel even in your own hometown, you find the so-called chiefs
Yes, sir.
that are
Yes, sir.
corrupt and fraudulent,
Yeah.
negotiating over your head, bringing bandits to town to come and kidnap and kill you for being a truth teller. This is what you get in Nigeria today, and whether they like it or not, I know that a beautiful set will be born that will fix Nigeria. The hope
Mm.
is not completely lost.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Anyway, just as a form of for anybody who is in the United States who is because I know I mentioned the selective service thing and the draft. It's
Yeah.
very important to note that the U.S. does not currently have a draft in place.
Yes,
The
I
selective
think it was
service.
last used during the Vietnam, the war with Vietnam. Yeah,
No, it's so it's used. Is basically what is used for is just to have enough pool just in case, right? So they said
yeah,
they don't. It's a requirement to ensure the availability of a pool of potential military personnel in the event of a national emergency. That's
that's
all
right.
it's for. Yeah, but yeah, join the conversation. That's all we have for you today. Happy New Year. Join the conversation in the comment section. Again, we're 4 followers away from being able to go live on Facebook again. So please go follow Sharp Edge
Let's
News TV
let's
on
make it
Facebook.
happen. Happy
Yeah.
New Year again.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Whether
Yeah.
the road is rough or not, let us rough it through because we are tougher. I don't want you to go by the matter of Nigeria may be tough, tougher is tougher. No.
So
All
far.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers.
God bless. Yeah.